What's up with you? It's the Home Care General Jesse Epps back with another one. Listen, I'm coming to you. I want to ask you guys on this video, are you willing to sacrifice? And no, I'm not talking about sacrifice one of your loved ones. I'm not talking about sacrificing the dog. I'm not talking about sacrificing the kids. I'm talking about, are you willing to sacrifice to get the results that you want out of your business? Because it's going to take some sacrificing. Like anything that you do, any business that you do, home care, whatever business you're talking about doing, guess what? It's going to come with some sacrifices. But you got to ask yourself for real, are you willing to do that? Because there's some people right now who literally, they know that 9 to 5 is just for me and that's it. I'm not jumping out there. I'm not going to try to be an entrepreneur. I don't think I got it. I'm scared. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And that's fine. But for those people who want to jump out there, who really feel like, okay, this is my passion. I feel it. I don't like working for nobody. Every time I go work for somebody, I'm ready to leave. Then you just like me. You know, every time you go, you get a higher position or they pay you more money. You still unhappy. Then you just like me. But with trying to cross over to the other side, there's some things that I want to prepare you for. That you, if you're just starting out, that you haven't even experienced. And that's going to be the sacrifices you're going to have to make to get to that next level. The sacrifices you're going to have to make to get to where you're trying to go. Because your destination is going to be a journey. It's going to be a path that you take. And you're going to have to go through some hurdles. You know how people run on the track and they do the hurdles? Yeah. Sometimes it may be every 100 yards you may have to jump over that hurdle. You may struggle to get over it. But guess what? As long as you get over that hurdle, then you made it over. But those are going to be some of the things that's going to come in your way. So are you willing to sacrifice to get the results? Are you willing to sacrifice to get everything that you want out of this thing? You got to ask yourself that. Are you willing to sacrifice your sleep? Are you willing to sacrifice your money to invest in your business? Are you willing to not spend the time with your family that you want to spend, but you have to focus on what you're doing? So sometimes you're going to have to miss events. Are you willing to sacrifice your car to get this business off the ground? And what I mean by that is, what if, you know, all you have as the money to get to where you're trying to go is your car? Are you willing to sacrifice that car to get the money to fuel your business and then go get another car later? Are you willing to give up where you living right now to maybe go back and move in with your parents? These are the sacrifices I'm talking about. I'm not talking about these little small things. No, these are going to be some major things. And I just tell you the story about me and what I had to sacrifice. Literally, you know, when I was living in my Section 8 apartment and I had came to that crossroad where it was like either I go left and continue to hustle. I continue to do the things that I was doing and I was already seeing everything spiral down on that bad note. Or I realized that where I'm at right now, my environment, you know, just what I'm doing right now, I got to remove myself out of this. But if anybody knows, I had in-house Section 8. So if I wasn't working, I didn't have to pay any rent. But I made a decision because I didn't want that anymore. So that was something that I had to sacrifice. I had to give that up to literally, I went and moved back in with my mom because I knew, okay, I don't want this, but I still wasn't in a position to go out there and jump out there and get something that the rent was costing me, what, $2,500 or whatever it was to be comfortable. So the next best thing I had to do was I said, okay, I'm just going to go back with my mom. And who wants to do that? I mean, most people are going to be like, man, I'm not moving back with my mom. And I felt that. But I had to do what I had to do. So I sacrificed where I was living to have that zero rent because of my environment, because of what I was doing. I had to remove myself and sacrifice that apartment to later on in life get better and buy a brand new house. But I went back to my mom's. I was willing to sacrifice that. So you got to really get down in your bag and figure out, are you willing to do the things that it's going to take to get there? You know, it's going to be some days that you can't go to your children's situation because you got to be out marketing or you got to be out doing things that's necessary to get you to where you're trying to go, because if you don't sacrifice, then you're not going to be able to see the levels that you will be able to get to, because you're not doing the work. And you have to put in the work. You got to do the actions to be successful, period. There's no way around it. You're going to sacrifice a lot of things. I've sacrificed my money. I mean, literally, I just told you I sacrificed my free apartment. Free. Pretty much. When I was hustling, they didn't know I was hustling. So my rent was free. But hustling brought a whole nother situation that I had to get out of. And it was like, all right, nope, I don't want this. I want better. Then I had my son looking up to me. Are your kids looking up to you as a role model? So right now you might have to sacrifice that time with them. But if you put that work in the next 1 or 2 years, you could be at least at a level where you're able to provide for them. Now you don't have to go clock in and be miserable going into that job. You'll be able to provide for them at that level. Then as you get to that level, now you can spend that quality time with them, because you don't got to clock in for nobody. You putting in the hours for your own company, your own business. Then you just scale up from there. Don't you want to be in that position? Well, guess what? It's going to come with some sacrificing, regardless what you think about it. So anybody telling you business or this business going to overnight, you going to, man, listen, you better run, because they lying, because it's not real. Listen, my mind frame was all like that, was like that. And that's why I went out and got my real estate license. That's why I went out and got my life insurance license, because I thought that these things were going to be a quick fix for me. I'm like, all right, go get my real estate license. I'm about to bang this out. You know, I'm thinking of it like hustle mentality. And then like, well, you got to pay for the MRIS. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for this. I'm like, hold on. Pump your brakes. I got the real estate license so I can make money. And you telling me I got to spend money? So they wanted me to sacrifice my money. But at that moment, I wasn't willing to sacrifice my money to get the results that I wanted. And that's why I didn't succeed in that. Then I got my life insurance license. I'm out there trying to hustle. I'm trying to talk to people about this life insurance. Primerica. That's who I was with. So I'm out here trying to talk to these people about this life insurance. But at this time, I was way younger than I am now, and nobody would listen to me. I was trying. I mean, nobody was hearing me. They like, man, this young boy talking about some life insurance. Boy, you better go back home and to your mama. I mean, I was young, talking about life insurance to older people. They wasn't trying to hear that. So that didn't work for me. And I end up quitting, because I'm like, man, I don't think this for me. And I didn't have a passion for it either. So I was just trying to do something. I was just trying to, that next quick fix. Then what else? Then I did some online stuff. I was an affiliate. What else? What else, man? Mess around with ClickBank. This affiliate program. I did it. I did it all. I tried. But I was actually spreading myself so thin, and I wasn't really putting in the time that I needed to really make that thing work for me. I was always jumping. I was hopping. And a lot of y'all right now might be hopping and jumping. So what I want to tell you right now is stop. Slow down. Look in the mirror. All that hopping and jumping and hopping and jumping. How long have you been doing it? Because I was doing it for years. And I did not see success until I really buckled down and I focused on that thing. When I focused on that thing, which was home care for me, that's when things started to move, because I was hitting those same barriers. I was hitting those 6-month barriers like I was hitting in these other companies that I was trying to do, or these other businesses that I was trying to do, but I quit. I'm like, 6 months, I ain't making no money. This ain't it. 4 months here. What else I did? Oh, Organo Gold. Man, I did it. Man, listen, I done did it all. I done worked every job. I done worked at Target. All that. But nevertheless, I didn't stick it out. So every time I would hit these barriers, and like I said, a lot of y'all right now might have hit a barrier, and you're like, nah, this ain't it. I ain't made no money. It's been 3 months. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. 3 months, you ain't make no money. You just getting your feet wet. You got to keep going. 6 months, you getting there. You getting there. You might have had a little success, but you getting there. You're not there yet. 8 months, 9 months, getting closer. A year, you might be feeling yourself just a little bit right. They might got a little pocket change, but if you want to see massive success, if you really want to build something substantial, you got to sacrifice and you got to stick that thing out. You got to focus. Lock in on what that thing is and focus, and it will happen. You're talking about somebody who had no experience in home care whatsoever. I wasn't a CNA, I wasn't a home health aide. The only certification I had was a CPR. And I forgot how many breaths you were supposed to do that. You lift the head. Listen, I'm just telling you my experience and who I am. So this is how I know anybody else that's looking to get into the home care field. Most of you guys have come with experience. You're just on the wrong side right now. You're on the side where people are giving you a paycheck. Now you got to come on the other side. But it's going to be some fear with that. It's going to be some sacrificing with that. It's scary. But you can do it. If you believe in yourself, just like you believe in yourself to get the CNA license or CMT license, whatever you did, you work for these clients, it's the same thing. You believe that you can do that thing, I promise you can do it. Somebody from Section 8 didn't have no experience in home care at all. Wasn't a phlebotomist. I wasn't nothing. I'm like a baby registered nurse now, but that's because I learned from everybody else around me. And that was the key thing. I said, when I get into this business, I'm going to learn from everybody else because I don't know. And that's all I did. But a lot of y'all right now got so much experience and you're not utilizing that because you're scared. You're scared to sacrifice. You're scared to jump out there. You're scared to put yourself out there. And I'm not saying jump out there all the way, quit your job. Nah, you could do this thing just like I did. I was driving a metro bus, while I started this company. And guess what? Until I was making more money and I was making on my job, I was still working. And once I made that amount that I could say deuces, man, you better know it. I rolled out with the quickness. I'm like, okay, hold up. I'm making more money. Now I'm making it metro. I hate metro. I don't like working here. Time to go. And when I walked up in that thing and I was like, hey, look. That's when I was swagged out too when I went up in there because I already knew I was quitting. So I'm like, all right, let me go up in here. I hadn't sacrificed all these years, literally. I was grinding for like 3 years, man, to get up out of this. So I walked in there in style. You hear me? I walked in there in style. I walked up in there, had my little nice watch on I had bought from home care. Had my nice, of course, my shoes. I was put together. Hair was all tight, right now. I'm going to get this done in a minute, but hair was all tight. Went up in there, I was like, yeah. Where's I want to speak to the superintendent because our superintendent was cool. But I wanted to talk to her just to let her know, what was going on. She probably she would have been proud of me or whatever. But this gatekeeper lady, she like, oh, you gonna have to schedule an appointment. She not here. She, she was just, just gatekeeping. You already know how that go. The gatekeepers. Probably miserable with her job too, because that's how she was acting. So she was like, yeah, you got to schedule an appointment and come back. I'm like, lady. I said, oh, she don't know I'm about to quit, huh? Oh, okay. Well, she about to find out. So when she said that, I looked at my watch, the nice watch that I told you I just bought. You know what I'm saying? That was my little gift. I looked at my watch. I didn't even look at the time. I just looked at it. I just said, well, look. I said, well, that schedule not going to work for me. Whatever schedule you got ain't going to work for me. She looking at me like, what? I said, yeah, because I was just coming to let y'all know that today my last day. But I'm dressed in regular clothes, so obviously today wasn't my last day. Whenever the last time I worked was my last day. And she looked at me, was like, what you mean? I said, just what I said. So you tell the superintendent that I came and I just told you that. And I turned around and I walked out of there. But that was only from all the sacrifice that I did while I was still working that job. I was paying the price while I was working. So I didn't make an excuse like everybody else. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, my money and whatever the excuses you make. It's just an excuse. Because I could have said all that. I didn't have the money. But I found a way to get the money. I just used the money I had. I was working. Rolled that over to the business as slow as I could. As much as I could, made it happen. The sacrifice, I left from where I was living, went back to my mom's house. I could have complained. I could have just said nothing's going to work. But it was that sacrifice that I was willing to do. So just ask yourself right now, just jumping out here, just ask yourself, are you going to grind this thing out? Are you going to give it all it takes to be successful? Are you looking for an overnight success? Because if you are, then it's not going to be one. Are you willing to put it all on the line? If you're willing to put it all on the line, man, so much will happen for you. I promise you that. So that's why I wanted to do this video, man, just to let y'all know, man. Look, if you're ready to jump out there, if you're ready to do what it is, do what it takes, to just understand that you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. But I promise you, whatever you are willing to sacrifice, you're going to get it back tenfold. I promise that, man. I'm out. Home Care General. Let's get it.